You're watching South Asia Newsline, and here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 1st of April. PM Modi predicts NDA hat-trick win ahead of Assam polls. Pakistan and China propose peace plan for West Asia crisis. And fuel prices surge as South Asia battles supply crunch. And now for all the details. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday exuded confidence of a third straight victory for the BJP-led NDA in Assam ahead of the April 9 Assembly polls, saying the massive turnout at his rally in Dhemaji reflects strong public support. He asserted that while the NDA is heading for a hat-trick win, the Congress is set for yet another defeat. Highlighting the last decade of governance, Modi said Assam has entered a new era of peace, stability and development. He praised the BJP's manifesto promising expanded welfare schemes, job creation and major infrastructure investments worth 5 lakh crore rupees. The PM announced that 15 lakh more families will receive Pakka houses while efforts will be intensified to empower women through the Lakhpati Didi initiative. He said the election is key to building a Viksit Bharat and expressed confidence that Assam will once again back the NDA.
असम लगातार तीसरी बार बीजेपी एनडीए सरकार बना रहा है और कांग्रेस के जो सो कॉल्ड राजकुमार है ना, उनकी तो पराजय की सेंचुरी आने वाली है.
And China and Pakistan on Tuesday jointly called for an immediate ceasefire in the Gulf and the wider Middle East, urging the quick start of peace talks and restoration of normal shipping through the Strait of Hormuz as their foreign ministers met in Beijing. Pakistan has earlier indicated its readiness to facilitate dialogue between Washington and Tehran. During the meeting, Chinese Foreign Minister Wang and Pakistan's Foreign Minister Mohammad Ishaq stressed the need to ensure the safety of key waterways, including vessels and crews stranded around the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz, which remains central to global energy and shipping concerns. Both sides urged all stakeholders to enable the safe passage of civil and commercial ships at the earliest and restore normal navigation in the strait. Their visit to Beijing follows Pakistan hosting talks with Turkey, Egypt and Saudi Arabia on Sunday amid rising tensions after former US President Donald Trump warned of severe action against Iran if it fails to reopen the strait. China reaffirmed its support with Wang, stating that Beijing is willing to work with Pakistan to ease tensions, remove obstacles, and create conditions for an early end to the conflict while opening avenues for peace negotiations. Meanwhile, a deepening fuel crisis is rippling across South Asia due to the West Asia crisis, with panic buying in Bangladesh, rising energy prices in India, and steep fuel hikes in Nepal. We have a report.
Panic has spread across Bangladesh as people are rushing to petrol pumps amid reports of disrupted petrol and octane supply due to high fuel import costs and West Asia crisis, triggering long queues and calls for urgent government action. Authorities, however, deny any shortage and have deployed officers at fuel stations to monitor the situation in real time. Amid rising global energy costs, the government is also considering partial online classes in schools as an austerity measure. Education Minister Enem Assanal Haq Milan on Tuesday said a hybrid model is under review. The country, which imports about 95% of its energy, has been rationing fuel and limiting sales. It is also exploring work-from-home policies and seeking over $2.5 billion in external funding to manage rising energy pressures.
Panic buying has become such. No control. We do not have any control, neither government nor the people of Bangladesh, any control over these people. The way they are asking the fuel from the petrol station, we can't have any assessment how much required they have. And just a simple example you can say, if we have a 1 crore of motorbike and if they hold 10 liter in every bike as their normal practice, then how much quantity they are holding. So in this way, if they hold the product, government can't fulfill the demand. So demand in terms of ratio, if you ask me, demand is phenomenal, abnormal.
Meanwhile, fuel prices in India have surged, with jet fuel up 8.6% and commercial LPG rising 10.4% amid global spikes linked to tensions involving Iran. Aviation turbine fuel now costs Indian rupee 1,04,927 per kiloliter, while commercial LPG in New Delhi is 2,078.50 Indian rupees per 19 kilograms cylinder, according to Indian Oil Corporation. The government has kept domestic LPG prices unchanged to protect households while cutting industrial supply. Officials say only partial increases were passed to airlines. The surge is driven by a 44% jump in Saudi contract prices and supply disruptions near the Strait of Hormuz. Authorities in Nepal have also increased aviation fuel prices by up to 117.4% for international flights, effective after midnight on Tuesday. State-run Nepal Oil Corporation said increases of 84.7%, 116.2%, and 117.4% for international flights from Kathmandu, Pokhara and Baraha, respectively, were needed to make payments to Indian Oil Corporation on time and avoid further supply disruptions. Prices for domestic flights have been increased by 97.6%, NOC said. Nepal increased petrol and diesel prices by 9.55% and 7%, respectively, and started rationing cooking gas earlier this month.
Concerns are mounting in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir over what citizens describe as failing public services, including poor education, absent doctors in government hospitals, and alleged irregularities in development schemes. We have a report.
A local resident has raised serious questions about governance, accountability, and transparency in Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Mahmood Ahmed Musafir, a resident of Kotli district, claims the education system is no longer functioning effectively. He also alleged that government hospitals are facing severe staff shortages, forcing citizens to turn to expensive private clinics, while there are also irregularities in development schemes.
अगर रियासत को बचाना है, आने वाले कल को बचाना है, आने वाली नस्ल को बचाना है, तो सियासी इज्जत की मुद्दत का कम से कम 2 साल पीरियड होना चाहिए, इससे कम 1 दिन भी नहीं। तालीम होनी चाहिए, गरीब बच्चों के लिए फ्री का बिल्कुल फ्री तालीम होनी चाहिए, एक जैसा निसाब होना चाहिए।
Locals in the occupied region have long criticized PJK's systemic governance failures and blamed bureaucracy for deepening public mistrust. They call for urgent reforms, including in education and healthcare sector, improved accountability, and structural political changes.
Moving on, Tibetan activists have launched a month-long protest march called Black Hat March in India, aiming to draw global attention to the Tibet issue. The campaign, led by the Tibetan Youth Congress, began in the northern hill town of Dharamsala and will conclude in the Indian capital, New Delhi. More than 65 Tibetan activists from across India are participating in the campaign, calling for justice, freedom, and greater international attention to their cause. Activists allege continued suppression of Tibetan identity, culture, and language under Chinese rule. China rejects the claims and officially terms the takeover of Tibetan land as a peaceful liberation and has ruled it for decades. Organizers say the march is not only a protest, but a call for global solidarity with Tibetans both in exile and inside the region.
Today, we, the Tibetan Youth Congress, is organizing a month-long campaign of march from Dharamsala to Delhi. So I wear this black hat, which is considered as the China, as in we usually say in India, topi mat penao. So China tried to disinformation and China tried to fabricate our history, our culture, and everything. So we urge that international people should listen to our voice.
And it's important that we all stand together, and it's so inspiring to see all these Tibetans come together in support of the Tibetans inside Tibet and remembering them.
And after a delay of 6 years, India has officially launched Census 2027, a massive exercise expected to take nearly a year to complete. The once-in-a-decade census, postponed due to the COVID-19 pandemic, aims to capture updated data on the country's more than 1.4 billion people. The process began with an online self-registration phase, followed by 2 rounds of door-to-door surveys across the country. More than 3 million officials will go across states, towns, and nearly 640,000 villages to collect detailed demographic, economic, and social data. The first phase will assess housing conditions, while the second will focus on population details including income, migration and social indicators. Experts say accurate population data is essential for infrastructure development, welfare distribution and urban planning, especially amid rapid migration from rural to urban areas. In a significant move, the census will also include caste-based enumeration for the first time in decades.
Because of rural-urban migration, we might be oversupplying to rural areas but undersupplying to the urban poor because we don't have a count on the urban poor. So it's very important that we start to invest in the right locations, the right places within the city, within rural-urban differences, and that's where the census data is so critical.
This census, what is unique is that for the first time after 1931, there is going to be a caste-based enumeration. That is, every individual will have to tell the person who comes to their household what is his or her caste. And the attempt is to find out the caste structure and the changes that have taken place in the post-independence period.
That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.